Want to know how to pack lunches that cost just $2 each? I went to Walmart with a $20 budget and I was able to prep 10 easy kid-friendly lunches on that budget. That's lunch every day for a week for my 2 elementary age kids. If you need budget-friendly lunch ideas for back to school that are still easy and tasty, then you have come to the right place. Even though my kids have gone back to school, it is still summer here in Oklahoma. Still summer is the season that comes after almost summer and then summer. And still summer comes right before ice storm. Basically, the weather here is bananas. At any rate, I say that to mention that I wanted some easy lunches I could pack for my kids that they could eat cold. I mean, it is just not time to pull out the thermoses and heat up the chili mac. It's not time yet. Not time. I also wanted lunch packing options I could prep mostly at the beginning of the week so that we could just kind of put it on autopilot throughout the week, especially in these busy first days of school when we're just trying to get back into routines. We don't really have to think about it. We just have everything prepped and ready to go for easy lunches. I started off by prepping some easy, cheesy corn dog muffins. I just made the muffins according to the package directions, adding 1/3 cup of milk and 1 egg. And I also added in some shredded cheese and some diced up cocktail sausages. Since I added stuff to the batter, I knew I could stretch it to 8 muffins instead of just 6, and these baked in just 15 minutes at 350 in my oven. I rounded out this little lunch by adding some chips, some sliced cucumbers, and some diced cantaloupe. And I had enough to make this lunch 4 times, so 2 days for 2 kids. And speaking of the produce, I planned to spend 30% of my overall budget on produce, and I just chose things that I know my kids like and that are in season and that were, you know, a pretty good price. And I also gave thought to how long certain items last in the refrigerator, and that's why I decided to use cucumber and cantaloupe at the beginning of the week because they spoil a little bit faster than carrots do in the refrigerator, and the applesauce cups that I purchased are non-perishable, so we can use them whenever. And just a little organizational hack for you. We have this little like desk area in the kitchen, and underneath here, I have a bin that is for backpacks so that kids can throw their backpacks and bags in there when they get home from school and they're not like all over the floor. And then this bin is a trash can. It's not one we've ever used for trash. I purchased it specifically for this purpose, just like a really inexpensive one from Walmart. And this is where lunch pails go. And when the kids come in from school, they know that they need to empty their lunch bags. They need to take the containers out, wash them. They need to throw trash away, put any food away, maybe non-perishable items that they didn't eat at lunch, and then put their lunch bags in that specific container that goes right here underneath the counter, and they can pull it out the next day or in the evening to pack their lunch for school. At the same time I was making the muffins, I prepped some pasta salad ingredients. I actually just cooked the pasta, drained and rinsed it, and then tossed it in a container to store in the fridge. And I made up the dressing separately in a jar and put that in the fridge as well. I prefer to dress these salads the day that we're actually eating them, but of course you could leave the dressing off completely. I rounded this out with some diced cheese and the rest of the cocktail sausages chopped up. You could also make this pasta salad deconstructed if the kids don't like all the stuff mixed together. And to finish this lunch up, I added some carrots and applesauce and a mini Twix bar. And this was another lunch that I could pack a total of 4 times. So again, 2 days for 2 kids. And I made sure when choosing candy bars that I chose a package that came with 6. Have you noticed that some of the brands only carry 5? Like the Kit Kats and the Hershey's only have 5 minis, and the Twix had 6. And since I have 2 kids that I want to feed as many days as possible, I knew I needed an even number. Although I will say, whenever I get an odd number of things, mom gets the leftover. By the way, the containers that you're seeing in this particular video are the same ones that we used last year and even a few from years previous. I am waiting until the back to school stuff kind of goes on sale because sometimes I find some good deals on lunch packing items kind of later in August or early September when they go on clearance. But if any of these lunch containers in this video are still available on Amazon, I'll leave them linked in the description box below. I also have like this drawer in here, and I put a bin, and it looks really shabby because these are all mostly old containers and I'm going to restock it here pretty soon. But this is where I keep like lunch bags and containers and thermoses that they use to actually pack their lunches so that it's all in one place for easy packing. And I'm sure I'm gonna take some flack for the Lunchables because I know they aren't the absolute most healthiest, gourmetest thing ever that I can send with my kids, but listen, ain't no shame in the Lunchable game in my household. Sometimes I just need that, okay? Plus, they were on rollback at my Walmart for $1.63, and I think even if I purchased ingredients in bulk, I'm not sure I could make homemade Lunchables for that same price. My son really likes the pepperoni pizza Lunchables, and my younger daughter, believe it or not, prefers the bologna. I can only find those at my Walmart for some reason, but there were lots of different options. And to round out this last day of lunches, I just used up the leftover veggies, fruit, and chips, plus I still had too many Twix left, so a nice sweet treat. And by the way, typically speaking, my kids do usually pack their own lunches. I have lots of different options available for them to throw together what they want to take for lunch to school, but I wanted to give some ideas, which is why I'm prepping these specifically with my 2 elementary age kids in mind. My oldest daughter, who is in middle school, she packs her own lunch and snacks each day to take to school and swim practice. So all in all, that's 3 different varieties of lunches, 10 lunches total. And here is what I purchased at Walmart to make these. A package of Great Value brand cocktail sausages, 1 8-ounce block of cheese. I chose the Colby variety, but you could choose a different variety according to your preference. 1 box of Suddenly Salad pasta salad, and a box of Jiffy corn muffin mix. Here's another idea. If you wanted to change out the corn dog muffins, you could, instead of the Jiffy corn muffin mix, purchase a can of refrigerated crescent rolls, and you could make little pigs in a blanket. It would cost a few extra dollars because the crescent rolls are more expensive than the cornbread mix, but maybe, you know, that's something that your kids would like better. For produce, my kids really like the mini cucumbers, but ounce for ounce and pound for pound, it's actually a better deal to get the regular or even the seedless cucumbers. I also picked up a cantaloupe because they're in season and I can get a lot of servings from one, and a package of baby carrots and a 6-count package of applesauce. I tend to get the unsweetened variety, but my Walmart also had a strawberry and a cinnamon variety in the Great Value brand. I also snagged a couple Lunchables, as I mentioned, and for fun snacky selections, I got the fun size Twix bars, and I ended up going with a can of Pringles because they were about $2 and my kids love those. You can sub out similar priced items according to your family's preference and just use this little grocery haul as a template. I spent $21.66 on these items from Walmart to make these particular lunches for my kids. You could probably get closer to that $20 budget goal by switching out some of the snacky items or some of the produce, but all in all, not too shabby. I mean, it's just over $2 a piece for these lunches. When I'm packing budget lunches, I usually have to prep and pack them myself or be more hands-on, at least in the process, because it's very specific what's going in them to stay on a tight budget. But when our kids can pack their own lunches, it does make things a little bit easier for our household. It teaches them some responsibility and life skills, and it also gives me back some of my time to focus on other household needs. I make this possible by organizing my kitchen, especially my pantry and my fridge, in such a way that packing lunches themselves is really easy for my kids. I have bins in the pantry where I organize things like applesauce and fruit cups and different individual packages of snacks so that it's easy for them to grab the things that they want to put in their lunch. I do the same thing in the refrigerator. I have a drawer where I keep lunch packing items so it's easy for them to find those things, and then also some bins that are great for things like cheese sticks or yogurt tubes. And I also have these really nifty things that I got off Amazon. I'll leave them linked in the description box, that stick to the side of my refrigerator, and they hold yogurt cups, so we can keep that organized as well. It does take a little bit of time and sometimes a little bit of observation, or at least an occasional check-in, to make sure that my kids are packing things like proteins, fruits and vegetables, and that we're limiting kind of the snacky items, which are not only the less healthy items, but also the more expensive ones. So while it does cost me more than $2 per lunch to stock my kitchen so that the kids can pack their lunches themselves, I do think it's a good responsibility for them to learn. And also it buys back some of my time, and sometimes my time is more valuable than my money. Both of these approaches are strategies that my family uses, and it just depends from week to week what we need. I'm thinking about doing more videos like this one with budget-friendly lunch packing options. So if you want to see more of these, leave me a comment. Check out one of these to watch next, and I'll see you there.